Hello and welcome to 5 Habits of. We're back. It's 2026 and I've got my first amazing guest for the year. So this year we are going to be talking about change and how we can really help our teams move forward. And my first guest is really exciting. We're going to be talking about the 5 habits that make teams unstoppable after change. And hello, Emma. How are you doing today?
Hello, Michael. I'm really well. And thank you so much. It's a real pleasure to be your first guest of your 2026 series. So thank you.
Well, thank you for coming. Right, briefly, tell me who you are and why we should be listening to you today about those habits that we need after we make a change.
Absolutely, we do. So my background is 30 years next year that I've been in various corporate HR roles, sat on lots of HR senior leadership teams. And then a couple of years ago, my role got made redundant. And I thought, let's kind of pause and see what I want to do next. So my business is called Teamwork People, and our whole focus is unlocking a team's performance after change. And we do that in 4 different ways. So we're driving team connection, clarity, energy, and engagement, so that team that has come through that period of change, whatever that may have been, a restructure, merger, acquisition, whatever it may be, they are then set up to be productive, profitable, they are engaged, everyone's facing the same direction, and they're able to deliver. So that's the purpose of my business. And we use lots of scientifically proven tools. So it's not the world according to Emma, it's lots of great tools, and one of which has got over this 2,063% return on investment. So we wanted to make sure everything was underpinned in science, to be able to help those teams to come back together again and absolutely smash the targets that they have.
Yeah, nice. I love it. And it's absolutely crucial to make those changes stick. You can spend a load of money making the change, but if it doesn't stick, it's all wasted. So let's get into it. What is that first habit that you love to see in those teams when that change has happened?
Yeah. So the first one is around connecting in 60 seconds. And these habits are really quick and easy. You need no budget, no sign off. You could use these this afternoon if you wanted to. And that's what we wanted to do, to give you some tools to drive that connection, clarity, energy, and engagement for your teams. So the first one, connect in 60 seconds. Now, Google, actually, through their Aristotle project, they looked at 180 different teams over 4 years, and they found the biggest driver of performance of teams was psychological safety. So this first tool about taking 60 seconds to do a quick connection with each other helps to drive that psychological safety. People then speak up, you're offering help to others, you're able to be vulnerable with each other. Spotify uses this exact same model, actually. So you have, if you're on a team call, 3 questions that are then asked of those team members. So firstly, what was a small win, however big or small, it can be tiny, but a small win that occurred yesterday is the first question. Appreciation for one other team member, someone that's really helped you to get to that small win, and one blocker that you may have or an area of concern, and celebrating really struggling with, can people be able to drive that connection in just 60 seconds. So that's the first tool the Spotify use, actually.
Yeah, I love that. I love that sort of that frequency check-in as well, because when those changes happen, you need to get people quickly if they're heading in the wrong direction or they're struggling. Because the worst thing you can let someone do is flounder and it not feel like it's an important change. So I love that, the positive check-in, the we're in it together appreciation, also that I need help on, because that just gives people permission to get things wrong or not know.
Yeah, absolutely. It does, doesn't it? And it creates that innovation, problem sharing, different ideas generation. It helps to bring all those folks together and helps that connection. Obviously, lots of other ways you can do that, and some of the tools that we use, like insights discovery, to do that on a bigger way. But it's really the heart of that connection is those conversations and people being open and honest and sharing advice with each other. So that's that first one. Yeah.
I love it. Okay, so if that is how we set the scene each week, each day, what is the next habit we need to be thinking about?
Yeah. The next one is called Clarity Compass. And before I go through that, actually, just to mention, we will be sending out to you a PDF of all of the different tools, breaking it down. What's the science behind it, who else uses it, how you'd implement it, and the benefits that you would receive. So just in case you're scribbling away, we will send that out to you shortly, so that you have all of that information ready to go and use. And so no budget, no sign off, nice and easy. So Clarity Compass. So number 2, Towers Watson, who do lots of work in terms of pay benchmarking and business consulting, they found that if employees have clarity of their roles and their goals, and they are 2.5 times more productive compared to others that are not. So that was a study that was carried out. Now, Intel use this particular process, this way of working, called OKRs. You might use them in your business, so objectives and key roles, to help people get to their clarity. And an amazing author, James Clear, if you've heard of the books, called Atomic Habits, an amazing book. He uses that same method here of saying, I will do such and such at a set time, in a set location, and having that intention and that real detail and clarity about what you're wanting to achieve there, you're 300% more likely to follow through on it. So there's some good science that sits behind it. And so a way of doing that as a team, to make that team unstoppable, is, again, if you're in a team call, you can have a check-in, a real quick and early check-in right at the start of the day. What's your number 1 priority today? What does success look like at the end of today if we were to achieve that number 1 priority? And who do I need to align with to make that happen? So it's helping you kind of look through your tasks that are in your diary and say, what is that big ticket item? Stephen Covey used similar language in terms of what's your big rocks, as opposed to focusing on the big rocks that needs to go into the cup today, as opposed to the little tiny bits of sand. You need to be able to focus on the real big ticket items, and sharing that helps you to solidify in your mind what is really urgent and important. Also helps to share that with others, because how many times have we been on a call where someone says, yeah, I'm working on this today, and we're like, oh, we've already done that, or oh, someone else is working on that. And sometimes you can find in organizations, you don't realize someone else is working on something that you're actually working on, so it stops duplication and confusion as well. Who do I need to align with? Whose help do I need to bring that to life? It kind of puts people on notice that they need something from you today. So that's the second, that's the Clarity Compass.
I love it, absolutely. That, and I think that clarity moment is when change happens, a new system, a new piece of software, the mergers, actually people's jobs change, and actually people need that reminder and that refocusing on what is my job now, because there's a lot of identity baked into who you've been and that success in that previous format. And you're now heading into these uncharted territories, right? And that's the scary piece. And it's safer to stay in the thing and actually go and learn. And that's what that almost goes really well with that first point of the where I need help today. So I love it. Sure.
Yeah, it's so key, isn't it? As you say, well, after that period of change, and there's a lot of focus I've found in my kind of career where it's on the the run up to it, the before the change, the go live. We've got a really slick project plan. It's implemented. The thing happens, but it's afterwards, isn't it? Where you've got new teams that are coming together, new leaders, changes to roles, changes to processes. Things fall over. People saying, "Are you doing that, Michael? Am I doing that?" And you just get this confusion, and then it drains energy quickly, and people start feeling disconnected and think, maybe I won't stay here, and you lose your really strong performers, and that performance starts to nosedive, and that's the performance that our tools here help to bring back up into teams. So it's really critical.
I love it. Okay, so we're coming up to halfway. What is the third habit that we should think about?
So it's channeling that change of energy. So it's an energy microcharge. Change can be very stressful, and it activates that cortisol response. When we haven't got the clarity, we don't quite know what's going on, it raises those cortisol hormones in our body. If we have quite sedentary jobs as well, that can further stress the body. So if you're sat for like 1 to 2 hours, your blood sugar levels start to become unstable. If you're sat, and it's easy done, it sounds like 4 to 6 hours, sounds like a long time, but actually it goes quite quickly, doesn't it? Then your focus is vastly reduced. There's impacts on your cardiovascular system. Your body can't process, the digestive enzymes, etc., that it needs. So things can start to drop, and then you end up just feeling absolutely exhausted. The New Zealand All Blacks make sure when they are training that they've got those real key moments of energy throughout their different training. They're kind of learning something new and focusing on kind of some detailed work that might in a classroom almost. They make sure that they're boosting their energy up. One of the ways that this can be done, I've got just a couple to share with you, is something called a power pose. So it makes you almost feel like you're Superman or Superwoman. So you'll be able to put your hands on your hips, put your shoulders back, and kind of stretch out like this, and then for 60 seconds, and kind of having that good stretch and just that moment of pause away from what you're doing helps to reduce cortisol in your body, so that you're able to be back focusing again. So it's a real quick physiological change in your body, but also like a psychological break that helps you to do that. Another way is something called box breathing or 4x4 breathing. And by doing this technique, it helps to quieten down the parts of your brain that are in fight and flight mode, and it helps to put you back into focus. So you'd breathe in for 4, hold your breath for 4, breathe back out again for 4 seconds, and then repeat that, and kind of making sure that you've got your breath back and you're just really focusing helps again to reduce that cortisol, and that fight and flight helps activate the right parts of your brain that bring energy back to you. So 2 quick and easy little ways that you and your team can help just to boost that energy. It really makes a big impact in how productive you can be.
Yeah, I think that those how you recharge moments are vastly underestimated, and it's the false economy of that I've got a big project, I'm not allowed to move from my desk.
Yeah.
But one of my favorite tools is the Pomodoro timer.
Yes, really good.
Yeah, and it is almost counterintuitive to get up out of your desk after about 25 minutes.
Yes,
and some of the group work I've done, I've worked with a couple of people, and they're like, oh yeah, I just get my phone out and scroll. I was like, actually, that's not what you should be doing in those gaps. That's the go for a walk, let your brain stay on the task, go for a walk, take the screen break, come back and sit down.
Yes.
And actually, it's that there's a difference between taking a break and like the doom scroll, the endorphin hit, versus the break to recharge. And it's so crucial that in the and it's amazing if you, I don't know if you've dabbled in Pomodoros, but it's just a different world. When you get to that 4th, 5th focus period and you've done it cleanly, it's just a different world of focus, but also the progress you make. So I like people need to find what works for them, but there are lots of different things you can do out there. And my one thing is, it's not looking at your phone. Whatever your break is, it's not looking at your phone or Instagram, TikTok, whatever it is. It's almost anything but anything else, another screen.
Definitely so. Your brain just needs that rest time, doesn't it? And having those short bursts that you've mentioned, I do that. I'll put my kind of timer on just for, just under, say 20 or so minutes, 25 minutes, and you're really focused on, we'll get this done by the end. Then I'll have a rest break. And sometimes it's when, people might have found this, they'll just like nip to go and get a drink or nip to the loo, and something that's been going around their mind, they've not been able to remember something or come up with an idea, bing, there it goes. You're just kind of taking your brain out of here, moving that environment slightly, and then wow, all those ideas flood through in the shower, don't they? All these different things just helps your brain to have a rest, and then it can then throw these fantastic bits of creativity at you.
Brilliant. Perfect. Okay, we're over halfway. What is the 4th habit that we should be thinking about?
So this is something called a micro ping of pieces of recognition. If people are recognised, then they're 3 times more likely to feel engaged and energized. Salesforce found that their employees were 25% more productive when they introduced these little micro pings of recognition. So it could be that you've got a group Slack or you've got a Teams channel. Put in a little bit of feedback of now, Michael did this and the impact of that was this, and these are the reasons why I'm grateful for that. It helps people to feel I'm valued. My work's being noticed. It keeps that coming from individuals. It shows others that they can be recognized as well when they're doing those great things. It can be emails sending to someone's manager and copying them in with the great work that they're doing, or huddling someone to say, wow, you spotted that error in that proposal, and this is what the impact of that was, and really keep up that great work. So it keeps those same behaviors starting. So it's great to have systems, like that in place. Smaller ones, obviously, there's larger recognition systems and platforms as well that you can use. So some great ones that we can put you in touch with. Some organisations as well, give like little financial rewards. Like at my husband's employer, 1Password, they use a system called Bonusly points. If someone does a great job, there'll be those shout outs, and they give each other points, and points mean prizes. So he uses his to buy Lego. His office looks more like a child's bedroom than my child's bedroom, with this various. So I told him he needs to calm down to do a good job, because we are like surrounded by Lego in that room, and it's creeping out to other rooms. But yeah, so there's good and bad sides of that recognition. So yeah, there's another one called Incentive Smart, a really great system that we can highly recommend as well. So those micro pings, however big, small, informal, formal, showing someone you care. This is what you've done. You've done an incredible job. Keep up with it. Helps to drive that enhanced performance. And if everybody's feeling that way, then again, it's another reason why that team will be unstoppable.
Yeah, I love it. And it is about catching people doing the right thing.
Yeah.
It's when someone's walking, like if businesses, call centers, you walk around, you want to catch people doing the right thing. You're not there to tell people what they're doing wrong. You're there to reinforce what you want. And you think those moments of change, right, is that when that change happens, you want to go, especially the leading behaviors that bring your new outcomes you're trying, really focusing on those. And so this is the behavior we now need. You almost want to forget the stuff that they do day in, day out that you've always said thank you for, and really focus on you've logged into the system, you've done 5 things. You just want to reinforce that they've logged into the system, right? It's not even the outcome of it. It's that you're in the right place. And that's the most important thing. Completely. And it is about, I think it's being, as a leader, very conscious around what you recognize in those times, especially in those moments of change.
100%, because what you're focusing on, you get more of, don't you? So if you, as you say, really promoting those behaviors that you wanted to drive, people can then see role models leading those behaviors, and they can see what success looks like and how they can bring it to life. It might be a new value or a new way of working that might, feel like a series of words, but actually when you're seeing people demonstrate that and getting recognized for that, it's like, okay, that's what that means in reality. So yeah, it's really key to do those micro pings.
Okay, we're almost there. So what is our last habit number 5 that we are going to talk about today?
So it's around reflecting and aligning in a quick 90 seconds. So the US Army do this. They call it after action review. Immediately as soon as an incident has occurred, and in your world, it could be as soon as something has gone live, or a key meeting has happened, a business review, whatever it may be. We pause before we go on, and straight away we reflect on 3 things. We reflect on what went well, what needs more clarity, and what recognition could we give to others, and where do we need to follow up to make sure that we're giving that recognition. So yeah, those 3 areas, taking that pause. It's easy to jump straight onto the next thing, to not reflect. In lean methodology, they call it check and adjust. You're not just racing to the next thing. You're actually pausing and gaining those learnings, having a debrief, so that any errors are not repeated. And again, so you're creating that recognition for others and showing, are we on the right track? Have we got the clarity? Did we connect in the right way? Was everyone engaged? And, and energizing people, because you're having that reflection time. So that'll be the last one, quick 90 seconds, reflect and align.
Cool. I love it. I love it. And it is, if you don't do that check, you could be going in the wrong direction, not actually doing something that feels nice but doesn't actually serve the goal and the purpose you're aiming at. Especially in it's really key, because there's nothing worse than heading in the wrong direction, and like that. But there are worse things. But like burning that energy, it doesn't feel great, does it?
No, it's absolutely not going to feel great. And it's encouraging, again, that psychological safety. If something hasn't gone right, people are flagging that up in the spirit of innovating, improving, continuous improvement. They've got that mechanism to be able to do that in a really quick and effective way, rather than dwelling on it, not saying anything. The same problem happens and you feel like a hamster on a wheel. So doing that in the moment, so it's fresh in people's minds, is a really great way of innovating. So yeah, there are our kind of 5 key little quick and easy, budget free, don't need any sign off, for things you could do this afternoon with your teams to help to drive those 4 pillars in a fast way. And there's lots of other programs and scientifically proven tools that we use to really delve into that in a highly bespoke way to support those 4 areas as they're known levers of performance. But yeah, those habits are key. Tiny little things done consistently over and over again are going to be things that move that needle and move those teams forward to performing. And Michael, there's a huge amount of work that you do in terms of driving those effective habits. So tell us a bit more about how people could work with your good self and the amazing work that you do.
Do you know, it's amazing. So you do your work at scale, and I do something very similar with individuals. Really, it's about helping them think about the change that it needs to make and the changes they're making and what they need to stick. And it's all the same things. It's the like checking in at the start of the day. What do I want at the end of the day? And I always talk about what is the thing you either have in your hand or your digital pocket. Like by the end of the day, what will you have? And especially if people are really not sure of direction, it's like what will we have at the end of the day? And that really clarifies it. And it's all about those changes. And it's that reward. And I think everything is amazing. Like, I know roughly what you're going to talk about today, but I don't know where you're going to go. And everything you've spoken about is the work I do. And that's why it's funny, because there might be something we do in the future together. But it's all of that stuff, isn't it? It's those little things, the behaviors that make it stick. And we know this matters because we see the aftermath of the changes when it doesn't happen, right? And we know there's an important there is an important space. So if people are considering change, it's absolutely this sort of thing they need to think about. And it's work with people like Emma, we can work at scale, or me, where it's smaller people. It's those tiny habits. Now, Emma, if people want to find you, what is the best way to get hold of you?
I'm on LinkedIn, so look me up, Emma Cowan. Teamwork People, we're on LinkedIn as well. When we send information out to you, that'll be from my email address, so drop me a note back there. My email is emma@teamworkpeople.co.uk. The website is teamworkpeople.co.uk, so take a look on there. We'd love to be able to work with you if you're at the start of a change journey and you want to make sure it's not all about the thing, it's about the people and the embedding. What are those habits to really bring this thing to life and make all of that investment in change worthwhile? Then there's loads of different ways that we can help and support you. So yeah, it'd be great to have a conversation about what we can do to support, and the same, for Michael. Michael, where can people find your great self?
Well, you can find me. I'm everywhere. No, so you'll find me here on LinkedIn. I've also got the YouTube channel, so you'll be able to watch this back on YouTube. And I'm going to put in the attachment into the notes. If you're watching this back, YouTube, you can find that there. I've also got a productivity prod. It's not a newsletter. It's a productivity prod that you can sign up to that comes into your inbox.
Right.
Yeah, and you'll find me also. I'm in a lot of Slack communities as well, so out there helping people find. And there's communities that are really focusing on operations, people, and making those changes. Right, Emma, thank you very much. Thank you much for your time today. Have a brilliant day. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks so much.